XRP is making history this week, and we just found out why the crypto market and XRP just pumped. Will it continue? I got the full scoop in this video. We're also going to explore a ton of XRP related news and content. Let's just get into it. Ncash says, like I said, XRP is making history right now. Evernorth, a record day for XRP spot ETFs and the busiest on-chain trading day quarter to date this week. Per our analysis of data from the so-so value on the XRPL, the demand is showing up on a network designated for institutional scale, the XRP ledger. And of course, XRP ETFs just pulled in 18.38 million yesterday. Bitwise and Franklin Templeton clients bought XRP ETF shares. Bitwise alone made up 92% of the flow, adding 16.89 million in a single day. So look at this. Most of this is coming from Bitwise, which is truly incredible to see. Bitwise XRP ETF took in nearly 23 million of XRP off the market in one day. Imagine once the market starts getting even more busy, guys, if you're starting to take 23 million, just one ETF off the market in one day, what will 5, 7, 10 XRP ETFs start doing? And when more people start to invest in crypto, when regulations are here, when there's clear guidance from Congress or there's clear guidance from the SEC and the CFTC, where do you think this is all going? Do you think XRP price is going to be at $1 forever? No, I think we are going much, much higher. The demand is absolutely there, and I am getting more and more excited day to day. Net inflows closed the day at 27.76 million for XRP. That is a monstrous day. We are now well over 1 billion XRP locked up in XRP ETFs. Take a look here. Yesterday on Friday 21st, 76.37 million. Bitwise, of course, leading the way. Franklin Templeton, Canary Capital, Grayscale, Rex Osprey, 21 shares. It's just really incredible to see that XRP price currently sitting at $1.49. I mean, look, you get 2%, 3%, 5% of XRP supply locked up. It's really when the big players like BlackRock comes in and changes the whole game completely. Chad Steingraber says total market overview this week. Market cap has reached 2.6 trillion with fear and greed rocketing up to 76 in the greed zone. ETFs across the board have gone to net positive. Bitcoin dominance is still 59.3%. This needs to drop with altcoin season rising from a low of 38, guys. So just to take a look here where we stand, Bitcoin currently about 77,000, Ethereum just under 2,500, 2422. BNB at $695, Solana at about $95. Of course, XRP just below $1.50. Of course, we'll be keeping a close eye on the fear and greed and the altcoin season index. But take a look at these flows this week, guys. It's getting pretty serious pretty quickly. Now, let's talk about why the market just spiked. I don't think a lot of people know. And when I stumbled on this today, I figured you guys needed to see this. You need to hear this. Let's go through it together. This is Caitlin Long. Let me play it.
It just sometimes just spikes.
Yeah.
And there was a macro reason potentially for the market rally today, and not just in crypto. It was basically the U.S. Treasury kind of doing a version of yield curve control, essentially saying they announced that they would more than double the buyback at the long end, so 30-year Treasury digging long into the curve. And so we had a huge rally in rates, and that is dollar negative, and dollar negative equals risk assets go up usually, and that's what happened today, I think. But
all right, and just to understand this a little bit more, the immediate catalyst was a treasury-driven macro liquidity shock. Then crypto derivatives market amplified into the squeeze. On Wednesday, the U.S. Treasury said it would at least double the size of its long-dated treasury bond buybacks from roughly $2 billion to $4 billion per operation. After a sharp bond sell-off had pushed the 30-year yield above 5.3%, the announcement initially pushed long-end yields lower and weakened the U.S. dollar. That mattered because lower yields and a weaker dollar typically ease financial conditions and increase appetite for assets outside cash and government bonds, including Bitcoin, XRP, gold, tech, and higher beta crypto. Why crypto reacted so hard? Macro repricing. Traders interpreted the Treasury's move as a form of liquidity support, often called QE light. Though it is not formal Federal Reserve quantitative easing, the immediate market message was policymakers are willing to cushion stress in the long bond market. Dollar debasement. Hard asset bid, a weaker dollar plus concern around fiscal deficits, debt issuance, and inflation encourage flows into perceived alternatives to foreign currency and bonds, especially Bitcoin and other crypto and gold. Short liquidation cascade. Once Bitcoin broke key levels, especially around the area around 67,000, short sellers had to buy Bitcoin back to close positions. That forced buying drove price higher, which triggered further liquidations. Reports put crypto short liquidations above 3 billion on Wednesday. Crypto trades continuously. Treasury and stock markets have limited hours while crypto trades 24/7. Once the macro catalyst hit, the future squeeze started. Crypto became the fastest outlet for repricing, especially into the weekend. So that's what's going on, guys. That is why the crypto market pumped all of a sudden. Obviously, we did have a ton of news, good news at the White House with President Trump, the head of the SEC, the head of the CFTC, top crypto leaders, top trade file leaders. That was Wednesday. The Thursday, you had the CFTC meeting with some of the biggest players, in the United States when it comes to crypto and finance, and all of that momentum mixed with this is what you're getting this big price difference for your crypto assets. And Trump did address the bond issue on Fox this morning.
Did you direct Secretary Besson to intervene in the bond market? Was
No,
that your idea?
not at all. No, he's a very capable man. He wanted to do it. He's very good at it. He has a good touch, very good natural touch for the bonds and interest, and he did that, yeah.
The yields have come back up since then. Have you talked to him about another type of intervention? Is that something he will be doing?
We have many types of intervention. That's one. The ultimate intervention is our military. And if we have to use that, we will, yeah.
All right, there you go. All right, now let me show you this on Kalshi. People are predicting how high will XRP go this in the month of August. If you need a Kalshi account, please use my link below. Also, what it actually costs to cross-size. Kalshi has some of the cheapest fees across perpetuals. And if you're trying to look at prediction markets, they compare Kalshi to Binance, Bybit, and Hyperliquid, saving you guys a ton of money. Really excited to be partnered with Kalshi. There's going to be a link down in the description. Also, Kalshi is offering new users up to $500 in prediction market rewards and a $25 Perps bonus when you make your first trade using my link. Let me know what you guys think. CME open interest is soaring. XRP exchange. XRP open interest is here. CME leading the way. BitGet, KuCoin. There's a massive amount of open interest. It's a constructive institutional market signal. So what this actually means with all this open interest, what it means for XRP, but it's not an automatically bullish prediction. The chart shows CME's XRP futures open interest is roughly 531 million, close to the longest pool of XRP derivatives exposure among the venues displayed. CME offers regulated XRP futures, including standard and micro products, and its published sentiment data shows open interest is tracked by contract. But what it indicates, more capital is committed to XRP futures. Open interest is the total value of outstanding long and short future positions, not the amount of XRP that has been bought outright. CME leadership matters for market structure. CME is a regulated, institutional-oriented venue. A large CME share can suggest that funds, market makers, and professional traders are increasingly using XRP exposure as hedging tools. Greater liquidity can support larger participation. Deeper futures markets makes it easier for institutions to hedge XRP-related holdings or take directional positions with defined infrastructure, which means more people right now are long on XRP, more institutional investors. And here is Zach Rector with his update about XRP price.
XRP just finished pumping over 70% since Wednesday. This was a historical week for all of crypto, but I want you guys to pay attention closely because XRP is showing you that it's ready to lead the next bull run again. Look at all of crypto. It's all up 20%, 30%, 40% swings, but XRP with a 70% move from $1 to $1.70 this week, showing you who's going to run this next bull run. Pay attention closely and make sure you guys follow for more.
All right. And then also I wanted to show you this. XRP whale accumulation activity has trended lower for roughly a year. In the final days of August, that trend reversed sharply. Accumulation activity spiked 453%. Damn! XRP liquidations flipped green, 49.57 million versus 23.21 million short. So the bears got crushed here. How you feeling, bears? Crushed. Oh man, that feels good. And then whale opened of 3.71 million long XRP. Lays long XRP with 20x leverage. Obviously, guys, if you're going to be using leverage, know what you're doing. I've heard a lot of bad stories. Haven't heard too many good stories of people using leverage, but if you're a professional trader, you know what you're doing. If you're not, make sure to learn before you kind of step out into that, get financial help. All right, Bird says, this is how I'm looking at XRP right now. There are two clear ranges on this chart. The bearish range is $1 to $1.80. This is the range where XRP needs to escape. We've bounced aggressively from the bottom, but technically the real battle is still ahead. The bullish range, $1.80 to $3.60. 180 is the level that matters to me. It's the top of the bearish range, the bottom of the previous major trending range, and therefore a huge support and resistance flip. My thesis is simple. First, attack the 180, reclaim the $1.80 and hold it. XRP moves back into its previous bullish range. And once price is accepted back inside that range, there is a lot of space to go above, right? If we can clear that $1.80, guys, we might be headed back to all-time highs. That's what I'm talking about. And once price is accepted back inside that range, there is a lot of space above. At that point, I think the probability of a rapid move through $2 and $2.50 and $3 is ultimately back toward the all-time high region and increases dramatically. We spent months trapped underneath the floor. Now we're coming back to test. Now we're going back to test the door. $1.80 is the battle, reclaim it, and the entire structure changes. Basically, guys, if we can get past 180 here and turn that into support, we might be headed back to all-time highs. So fingers crossed, get prepared. Let's go. I'm excited. Usually September, October, things start to happen, right? People are trading before the end of the year. And of course, if we get some kind of clear guidance on clarity in September, if they pass the bill, oh my God, it's going to be Uptober for real, right? I'm getting excited, guys. It says we spent a whole summer boring, right? People are depressed. People are sad. I mean, people went and did other things, like people are doing woodworking and other hobbies. They didn't care about crypto. XRP starts pumping. People coming out of the woodwork. Sensei, I'm back. What's up? Great to see you guys. I'm glad you're here. Institutional lending is coming natively to the XRP ledger. No smart contracts needed. Ripple, Cicada Credit, and Clearpool Finance ready to stand first deploy in the real world. RLUSD powered credit directly on chain. And as soon as the lending protocol XLS 66 and single asset vault 65 amendment passes, positioning the XRP ledger as a complete financial infrastructure layer with native compliance. This is over a $2 trillion market now being created on the XRP ledger. Check out the full breakdown here. This is the RLUSD flywheel. What will you build? Don't miss the lending and borrowing track on October hackathon. So if you guys want to participate in that, LP deposit RLUSD, Ripple and other institutional LPs deposit RLUSD into Clearpool vaults on the XRP ledger. RLUSD flows to borrowers. Cicada draws from the vault and passes RLUSD to vetted fintechs under institutional credit terms. Fintechs use RLUSD for cross-border settlement and in RLUSD, and then actively XRPL activity grows, deposits, draws, and repayments all settle natively on the XRP ledger, and then capital compounds. Real yield attracts more LP, more fintechs adopt RLUSD. Let's go. And of course, we are talking about possibly a global reset announcement. We did a video on this on Saturday, probably came out on Saturday. You're going to be watching this Saturday night. So go back to the earlier content if you want a full breakdown, but I thought this was very interesting.
Going to be a breaking news story, and they will announce that now we're going into a new currency.
When is the reset going to happen? Followed by, what is a reset? And I was thinking maybe we start today by just defining what a reset is. When people ask that question, what are they actually referring to? People wake up, they turn on their news, it's there, it happened. Can you walk me through maybe what that day looks like? Like, I get the announcement. I think our audience understands that fear, because it's a scary thought that could be the reality one day. That's what we're heading towards. What actually would happen to the currency?
As an analyst, I probably get asked that multiple times throughout the week. That is a key question, right? Because everyone wants to know, when is the reset going to happen? I think what they're really asking, Taylor, is when is it going to be official?
Okay.
When is it going to be apparent? Like, that's when the reset happens. When a government comes out and says, okay, there's going to be a breaking news story. The president, whoever that is at the time, Secretary of Treasury, more than likely the Federal Reserve or the central bank spokesman, will be on TV together, and they will announce that now we're going into a new currency. They might say something like, we're going to revalue, we're going to start over, we're going to restructure. There's going to be all these different words, but it's going to be a reset. So I think when people ask, when is the reset going to happen? It's happening now. And there's symptoms to it that we can talk about.
Yeah.
But when someone says, when is the reset going to happen? I think what they're asking is, when is it going to be apparent to me? And when is that official statement going to come out?
Guys, listen, I will keep you up to date with everything crypto. Make sure you're following and subscribe. Please like and share on every video. It really does help the algorithm here on YouTube. They've made some changes. I need your help. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope you're learning. I hope you're growing. It's always incredible to spend this time with you. Have a great weekend. Spend some time with somebody you love. All right. Aloha.